Hello good people, it is that time again. Time to get reacquainted with algebra. Although it is a cause for many nightmares, algebra is a mathematical shorthand that allows for numbers to be represented by letters in equations and formulas. Now, why in the 7 circles of hell would you like to replace numbers with letters? The reason for that, although you might not believe me right now, is that it actually makes mathematics easier. Let's look at this price board. A taco goes for 9, a sandwich for 7, and an apple for $3. If I was to buy one of each, I could say that the total cost is the price of one taco plus the price of one sandwich plus the price of one apple. Algebra allows me to shorten this expression. I could represent the total cost with the letter C. So I could say that C equals T for taco plus S for sandwich plus A for apple. At this stage you might be thinking, well, hold on, you demented cauliflower. Why do this in the first place? Why not just write that C equals 9 plus 7 plus 3? And fair enough, you would have a point. But what if I'm buying more than just one of each item? Suppose that I'm buying 3 tacos, 4 sandwiches, and 2 apples. Now I could say that the total cost will equal 3 times price of taco plus 4 times price of a sandwich plus 2 times price of an apple. And in algebra, we could even tighten this up a little bit. I could write that C equals 3t plus 4s plus 2a. Even though I have not written in the multiplication sign, we assume that it is there. Now that I have my little equation, I could actually substitute in the prices for the tacos, sandwiches, and apples. I would have 3 times 9 plus 4 times 7 plus 2 times 3. This would give me C equals 27 plus 28 plus 6. And this would result in a grand total of 61. Underline and celebrate. Now, before we get really cozy with some more algebra, I would like to get us reacquainted with some of the words or terminology used in mathematics. So, let me get rid of this and bring in a couple of words that we need to get familiar with. Firstly, we have a term. Now, in mathematics, a term can be anything. It can be just a number, just a letter, or a combination of the two. A constant is just a number. A variable is just a letter. A coefficient is the number part of a term. For example, 7 in the term 7ab or 5 in the term 5c squared. And finally, in this list of words, we have like terms. Like terms are terms which have the same letter and power. For example, 9d, negative 2d, and 4d are like terms. In a similar fashion, 3c squared, 2c squared, and negative 7c squared are also like terms. Let me bring in 2 examples that we can analyze. On the left, we have 5b plus 4a plus 6 plus 7a. All of these are terms. 6 is a constant. Letters b and a, they are the variables. The numbers in front of the variables, so in this case 5, 4, and 7, they are the coefficients. And finally, 4a and 7a, well, they are like terms because they contain the same letter. On the right, we have 2x squared plus 9 plus 3xy plus x squared plus 5xy. In this case, the only constant is 9. That is the only number we have. The variables are x squared and xy. The coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. So 2 from 2x squared, 3 from 3xy, 5 from xy. What are the like terms? Well, in this case, we have two sets of like terms. We have 2x squared and this x squared. They are like terms. But then we also have 3xy and 5xy. They are also like terms. While we are talking about the language of algebra, there is one more thing that I would like to cover. The difference between an equation and a formula. Often, we use these two terms interchangeably, but they are not exactly the same. An equation is a mathematical statement indicating that the values to either side of the equal symbol are, well, equal. A formula, on the other hand, is a general mathematical statement that can be applied to a wide variety of situations. Another way to say all of this is to say that all formulas are also equations, but not all equations are formulas. Previously, I constructed an equation to to calculate the price of tacos, apples, and sandwiches. Let me bring that equation back. And here it is. It is a nice little equation, but it is not a formula. Why is that? Because this equation applies to one scenario only. It applies to that one specific price board. A formula applies to a wide variety of situations. For example, if I want to calculate the area of a rectangle, we have a formula for that. Area of a rectangle equals length multiplied by width. Why is this a formula and not just an equation? Well, because it applies to any rectangle. To put it more succinctly, we could say that equations tend to be very specific, whereas formulas are more general. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.